Welcome to the show. I'm Ben, and this is Jamie.
What's going on? Welcome to Let Jamie Talk. We're glad to be here today. We're sweating it out this morning. It's pretty warm in here, Ben.
Well, you have been complaining about how cold it's been in here, so I didn't have this on. It was off. Turns out it got warmer outside, though.
You took care of that. I'm actually quite comfortable and a little sweaty.
I am a little sticky. It's this humid, too.
And I'm drinking a hot cup of tea here, and I'm trying to get sufficiently caffeinated.
Right.
I think I'm there. Maybe a little beyond there, actually.
Oh, yeah? Feel good?
I hope you are. I see you got a nice full cup there.
I do. Well, yeah, I got my coffee going here. It's a little cold, though, because, it was ready early.
Well, it should be plenty warm. It should stay warm in here.
and you weren't here.
It's like a heater in here. Well, I'm sure we got some fun stuff to talk about today, but I was going to say, did you hit record on the podcast yet?
I did.
Okay.
Because
sometimes
we're a minute in.
People may not know. I don't know. What have we put out? 4 episodes so far?
That's 3.
3? Okay. Well, if nobody knows, we've recorded enough episodes to have double what we have put out. Nobody knows that, but I do. I thought it's funny just because, we're trying to figure all this out and how all this stuff works. And, it's a shame. We had some good conversations that I'm afraid nobody will ever hear, already.
Yeah.
So anyways, it's hard to recreate stuff. You know what I'm saying?
It is. It's hard to go back. I think we'll revisit those topics, but and what happened was it was a mess up on my part, maybe all of our parts, but I'll take the blame.
No, I think it was my fault.
It was me.
No.
All right, it was you. So what happened is you are the sound engineer over here, but what happened was we got really ambitious and we actually did 2 episodes one day.
Yeah.
Got in here, got after it. It was great. Good conversation.
I walked away pumped.
It was 2 hours worth of content for sure, but the audio recorded on the Mac, input instead of on these microphones.
Yeah,
so
that was a drag. But it was like a little rehearsal for us, because whatever.
It was a good rookie mistake for sure.
It is. We'll try not to do that again. So we did our sound check, I hate that everybody missed out on that because it's flipping hilarious.
I think I'll post it to Patreon.
Maybe you should. I mean,
think so.
We're not trying to be funny during the sound check, but it just is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you did that warm up with you did that warm up and that's quite great to watch.
A little vocal warm up.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to do.
Who taught you that?
Well, actually, I used to listen to vocal coaching, DVDs or CDs for singing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it'll help your voice, to help stretch your range and all that and make you a better singer, which was what I kind of want, to be a better singer. Who doesn't? But actually, I'm interested in finding some kind of vocal coach now.
Really?
Just to help me because my voice has been struggling because of talking on the job site so much over loud noises. I'm always talking loud.
I bet a vocal coach is watching this or listening.
I hope so. I need a vocal coach. And actually, I have some friends that have struggled over the past with singing for certain reasons. Like one of my friends had have you ever heard of somebody that's tongue-tied? Actually, it's like a medical thing with the bottom of your tongue, the little stretchy part, that if it's too tight or whatever, then you can't properly speak or sing. And that's sad, of course. But I guess there's ways to fix it or something. Because my friend had a surgery for
lasers.
It. Yeah. And so, but she was still recovering for a long time, like a year before she could really sing again.
I think they try to fix that now when babies are babies.
Maybe.
I think.
Maybe. Yeah. And another friend of mine had a jaw issue that prevented her from singing for a long time.
Wow.
Yeah. Some kind of I don't even know what it was.
I think that's what's wrong with me.
So you think your jaw is not right?
Yeah. I think that's why I sing off pitch.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll look into that for you. So yeah, I need a new vocal coach. That's something for sure. Need some help in that category. By the way, I couldn't help but think of you this morning when I was getting ready for my kids getting ready for school. And we almost always have the TV on or something. There's something going. We're making breakfast, and my kids like to watch Dude Perfect.
Okay.
And this can't be the first time that somebody's told you look like the Dude Perfect guy.
I think it's the first time I've ever heard that.
Or that you look like him, he looks like you.
I don't even think you've told me that before.
Have you not heard that before?
No.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
No. Is this on YouTube?
Are you kidding me?
Is it on YouTube? I don't know who that is.
You're like a stunt double for this guy, and you never even heard of him?
No.
It's on YouTube. Just look
Okay,
up, dude.
I'll have
Perfect.
to look it up.
They're great. It's good, wholesome fun that I don't mind if my kids are watching them. You know, because they do watch junk on YouTube.
Right.
And I'm like, get off of the junk stuff. And my dad voice just comes out like super angry.
Yeah, Perkins Wilder Brothers.
I don't know how many times I've said this, but yeah, they can watch that all they want. Okay. So yeah, dude, perfect. They're known for trick shots. They started out at least.
Oh,
like basketball trick shots,
gotcha.
you know,
It's crazy stuff.
And then of course it just snowballed from there. They're big time, these guys. They're cool guys, I think. I mean, just from watching anyway. I don't know them.
Not yet.
I don't know. I mean, you know. So you look like him. That's the point.
Okay. I'll check it out.
Your beard.
I think
your beard.
I think if he needs a stunt double, I'll add it to my repertoire.
Okay.
For sure. They back to the singing thing. I didn't get to. It's lawn mowing season for me. I mowed this week. I know you've mowed like 5 times already.
I noticed your grass is looking pretty good.
Well, I try to leave some for the honeybees. You know, they
okay.
The honeybees need that. They need to pollinate. So I try to leave it. You and your brother just cut it right when it starts growing. You know, no honeybees in your yard.
What? I just hate to say that I don't know enough about the honeybees to know what I should be doing for them.
And that's the problem. And
I'm allergic. Brett's allergic to what? Bees. The bees. Brett is one bee sting away from a major event in his life, EpiPen, where I guess we're talking here.
Yeah.
So that's pretty terrible.
It is.
Speaking of pins, I don't know why you got 15 pins on your desk right here. I have a lot.
But anyway, back to the music, the mowing. That's when That's when I sing. Is when I'm mowing.
You do?
That way nobody can hear me.
Do you listen to music or you just sing?
Yeah, no, I have the headphones on.
Okay.
Yeah. It's good. That way I can't hear myself and nobody else can hear me.
What do you like opera or?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I listen to a lot of opera. Yeah. Actually somebody wanted to know your top 10 songs, so you're gonna have to work on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like my favorite songs, or just like sound check songs?
They want to know you're like what's in your top 10 playlist.
Just stuff that I like.
Oh, that's me. Maybe if you made a mixed CD, what would be on it? We'll do a Jamie Perkins.
It'd probably be something that nobody else likes, because I've found out over the years that I get put in a position to act like a DJ sometimes when I'm doing sound.
Yeah.
And I am not a DJ, and the DJ is like a performer. Right? Almost like a singer or a musician, but their performance is playing other music. Anyway, DJs, I think I'm impressed with DJs that they can do such a good job of playing music that people like.
Yeah.
And remixing and making their own edits and all this. It's incredible. So I'm not a DJ, but if I was, I would pick the music that I like, probably that nobody else would like, and then everybody would leave.
Everybody would leave.
Yeah, I've had some real nightmares.
No.
In that. Yeah. Oh,
really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You want to hear one?
With people leaving?
Well, people being ticked off. Okay, let me set the scene real fast. It'll be a short story. So I get hired to do sound for a wedding.
Okay.
Now, sometimes people want sound services for a wedding, for the actual ceremony, like, the I do's.
Yes.
You're gonna have musicians maybe play a special song during the ceremony. Maybe the bride and the groom might be wearing microphones on their clothes, somewhere concealed so it's not, visible and all that, so that everybody can hear the whole service very well. All right. But then after that, there's going to be some kind of reception. There's either going to be a live band or there's going to be, like DJ kind of music going on, right? It's pretty common.
Yeah.
Well, I got told at this particular event that one of the bridesmaids or somebody was going to bring all the music. I didn't have to worry about it. All I had to do is be able to play their music. I said, perfect, because I'm not a DJ. And, well, guess what? That person didn't show up.
Ooh.
And so then, I had a very small selection of terrible music, or what I liked, but this is not dance party music. And then everybody and their brother was coming up and trying to plug their phones in to my input and like ask if I had, making requests and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, I don't even do this. But, I didn't have time to explain my story about what happened to me at this particular event to everybody that came up to me. And then there was people yelling and complaining about how I was terrible at being a DJ.
Boo.
And, they hated the music selection, which wasn't, it was either mine that was terrible or what other people just wanted to play, and it was terrible too. It was a really bad experience. And I had another really bad experience at a wedding where, there's like the first dance.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And then there's like sometimes a second dance, it'll be like the the groom and his mother.
Yes.
And then it'll be the bride and her father.
Yep.
And then maybe there might be even one more. At this wedding, there was 3 or 4 songs.
Mm-hmm.
So I had them on CDs. Okay. And the way that I played the CDs was on like a little portable Discman, right?
What year was this?
Okay. It was a little while ago. And I didn't know, but there's like extra buttons on the Discman. One is for like setting different modes to where it'll just play the intro of a song. Have you ever seen that? It's an intro button, so you can just hit play and it'll skip.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. I didn't know I had accidentally pressed that button. I put it on the first song. They get up for the first dance, and they start dancing. The music is playing. Everything's wonderful.
Perfect.
Okay, for 10 seconds. And then all of a sudden, the music shuts off. And they all, are like, oh, what's up? And I don't know why it stopped, right? I don't know why it stopped. And I'm scrambling, trying to figure out what happened. And then before I can even figure out anything or even have a real thought about what to do to try to fix it, another song starts playing. It's the next track on the CD, which is a different couple.
Right.
So they brush it off. They switch partners. They do whatever. They start their next dance, right? Well, guess what happens 10 seconds after that? It stops again. I still have no clue what's happening or why it's happening. And then the next song starts again. And it's a different day. And by the dude, I finally just shut it all off. And I said, look, I'm really sorry. I don't know what happened. So I ruined their special day.
So they didn't get the dance.
I didn't, no, we didn't redo it. It wasn't a redo. We just kind of brushed it off. So I feel really bad about that. But weddings, I think anybody in the wedding industry, it's high pressure.
You think when they renew their vows, they're going to call you?
No, no. I have distanced
no more weddings?
myself from committing to wedding events because it's the pressure, dude. It's their one special day. Yeah. They're going to videotape it. They're going to remember it forever.
It's like wedding cakes. Stressful.
Yeah. Your mom made my wedding cake.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful.
Right. But she distanced herself from that because of how stressful
is that right?
Yeah. Well, just think about it. You make this person's wedding cake and then you have to transport it from your house to the wedding venue.
All of a sudden there's a lot of pressure.
Like in your car.
Like you're doing a normal thing that you would normally not
and then you have to like reassemble it. Because she used to do wedding cakes where it was like the multi-tiers.
Okay.
Like, it's not as much that anymore. People do like different set cakes. Things are a little easier. But she used to do like 10 and 12 tiered cakes.
Wow.
So you have to like then go assemble it. And don't screw it up.
That's a lot. It's a lot of pressure. And I get that. And I don't like feeling the pressure so much.
Well, it's tough. I mean, we're so yes, you cannot call Jamie for your wedding event, right?
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Well, I was going to give out your phone number, but I won't.
You can. I thought about changing my number anyway. It's bad.
But it's all people that. How many telemarketers though?
Oh, I get spam calls every day, all day.
Yeah.
I miss at least 5 calls of those every day. Spam is calling.
Like you miss them. You're sad that you miss them.
Well, it could be something important. I hate to not answer the phone, but I also hate when I look at my phone, I got 97 voicemails from, hey, it's the tax credit center something, or your extended vehicle warranty is expired.
Right.
Or it's Google calling me saying that nobody can find my business online. Those are the most common ones.
Those are good. We're rambling too long. We're going to get yelled at. Okay. So today I wanted to dive into a topic with you. One, we're going to, after this, we're going to talk about you and your house.
Okay.
Okay. But not only that, but if you were to build another house, I want to know what you would do differently. Okay. Yeah. That's going to be, I think, the main subject today. And then after that, I think we're going to jump into some more questions from either YouTube or we've got a bunch built up an email here that, take forever to get to. We're not going to get to all of them, but we're going to pick some fun
there's
ones.
So many questions. I would love to answer them or respond to them.
Yeah.
I like the idea of responding to questions. Sometimes we can answer them, but not all the time. So
yeah, no, I got you. So I think with your home, like you built your house, you were 22 when you built your home. So I think if you were to do it again, not that you are, but I bet there are things that you would do differently.
Definitely.
And and this is sort of spurred off of a fan question too, because somebody wanted to know this, and I was starting to think about it. I was like, oh yeah, I bet there's a lot of things, because we've talked about some of them, I think. So let's dive into that as to what are those things that you would do different. And I would say let's start broad. like from let's even just the site design.
All right,
you
sure.
know?
We can start broad. There's a lot of things that, what do they say? Hindsight is 20/20 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I noticed, speaking of 20/20, you're not wearing your glasses today, so I hope you can see what buttons you're pushing on the computer.
I am. I'm not wearing my glasses today.
So-
You brought up a random topic there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You
Okay,
did. You strayed.
we're gonna get back on track here.
Oh, I didn't wear my glasses because my right eye is the bad eye, so
yeah.
the lens is like thick.
And-
So
and
from
it-
this camera angle,
It just so happens that this camera is looking at the one. So you have like a clear lens on one
I
side.
do. My
with
left eye is like
no
perfect.
prescription.
Yep.
Why don't you just leave the lens out? That might draw a little more attention.
Well, I need to protect it. It's my only good eye.
Oh,
That's what the doctor said.
I
He's
get
like,
that.
It was like, you only have one good eye, so you better wear those glasses.
I get that. I'm a little protective about my one good hand. I can relate to that.
The I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna fix this zoom on this camera real quick.
All right, zoom it in, zoom it out, whatever you got to do. We can do that. All right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
We're gonna talk about my house that I.
Oh, that's better. I can't see
I,
the camera.
You like that?
Yeah, that's better.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So I built my own house, and me and my wife designed the house. We took like parts of different houses that we liked, the plans, and we just made a mashup. We took all the things that we didn't like and got rid of them, right?
Okay.
And how long have you been married? I've been married since 2006. It is 2025, 19 years, if I'm doing the math quick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So
It's 2025.
yeah, and I've been living in that house we built in 2007 and 8-ish, around there. I think it took almost a year to build it. Some things you don't know until it's too late, and that's what all these things are basically that I would have done different in the house. The first thing is the orientation of the house. I might have considered that, my house faces kind of south and west. What that means is that the sun is setting right directly in our main view of the windows. The primary view, the sun sets right there. So I thought, we're going to face the house towards the view. That makes sense, right? Well, when you want to go enjoy the porch where it's like off of our living and dining room, and that's where you might be in the evenings, it is hot. And the sun is baking you until the sun set, which that's like 9 o'clock in the summertime, right?
Yep.
So we've had to get shades that come down, and they didn't fit. I bought generic ones that I modified and cut them and installed them because they're like $100 each for the generic ones, and they're like 8 feet long each, and they're kind of like a roll down shade. They take some kind of like metal pole and you like spin it, twist it.
Yep.
Anyway, they're pretty nice, but to get custom ones, it's like super expensive. If you've ever priced out custom shades of any kind, dude, they are. I'm not saying they're not worth it, but they are very expensive.
Right.
So in the evenings, not only for the deck, but my living room and my dining room, we have to pull the shades because we're getting baked.
Yep.
So I would consider.
So no view.
I would consider a way. Yeah. How do you do that with the view? I would have at least considered a way that maybe I could go out on the porch and not get sunburned in the evenings.
Yeah.
Because I work outside all day, every day, right? And that's a problem too for all kinds of other reasons. Like when my family wants to go to the beach, I'm like, oh gosh, I get baked every day at work anyway. So, I want to sit in the shade.
Oh yeah. I'm a shade person at the beach.
I love the shade at the beach. And we went to a beach once. It was in Destin, Florida. You heard of that, right?
Yeah.
And there's a bridge that goes from whatever the island is right beside, or it's not an island. Is it Destin an island?
I don't know.
Well, you cross a bridge to get on Destin, right where there's like a pirate sailboat or a pirate ship.
Yep.
There it is.
Uh-huh.
There's a pirate ship ride that you can ride
Okay.
in the Sunset Cruise, or I don't know what it is.
Uh-huh.
We did this. It's like a theatrical thing too.
Ooh.
They got like pirates and microphones, and they get all the kids involved. Well, there's a bridge right before that you can actually go under if you go to the beach. But I think they closed it off now. The whole point is I could sit under a bridge in the shade, and 5 feet away from me, my wife and my kids could be there in the sun.
Right.
They're having a fun time. They're doing what they want to do in the sun. I'm in the shade reading a magazine, staying cool. And that was nice. I really liked it.
We bought one of those Shibumi shades. I think that's the brand.
Yeah.
But Shibumi. Like the wind blows it.
Yep.
Man.
Those are cool. It's a great idea.
I know. I looked down the beach one day and there's like 500 of them. I'm like, maybe I should get one of those.
I wonder if there's any knockoff brands of that now, because they pretty much got the market on that one.
Yeah, there were, but I think they've been chasing after them with that copyright infringement stuff or trademark infringement. Copyright patent. I think that's copyright. But anyway, because we took our dogs, so I needed shade for us and our dogs, because they were like, I don't want to lay in the sun all day.
No. Some people do.
They're actually getting banned in a lot of beaches. They're so loud.
Oh, they make noise. They make noise, a little flapping of the wind. How about that?
They do.
There's always a problem with something.
I think they have a new design, though, that you can tie it back.
Yeah. So
they're staying ahead of it. Yeah.
All right. So I don't like getting baked in the sun when I want to relax at home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I would have changed that on my own house.
Well, so first on that, like, what about where your house is? Like the property in general. Would you buy the same piece of property?
I would.
If you were to, okay.
I would. But if we can zoom out a tiny bit, I will say this, that I live in a neighborhood that has like 25 houses, and our neighborhood HOA is not really functioning properly.
Gotcha.
And by that, I mean it all.
That's one of my questions. Like, would you, an HOA, would you do a HOA again?
Well, I get calls every day about people wanting advice about, hey, I'm thinking about buying some property. What should I look for? What should I be watching out for not getting into? So I tell people either get something that has your own private road off of a state road so that you're the only one that owns your driveway. So you're fully, responsible for your own driveway so that you're not forced to get along with other people that may not feel obligated to pay for the road. Yeah, this is a whole big deal. I don't know if we should get into all this because I'm going to go crazy. All right. So
I feel like roads are a big part of HOAs. A good
functioning HOA.
Yeah.
Or at least a road maintenance agreement. I think that's a bare minimum, a good thing to have. Like my brother, for example, he lives in a pretty nice little neighborhood, and apparently everybody pays the road maintenance fee, and they accumulated enough money to say, we're going to hold off on the fees for a while because the account is funded to make repairs on the road sufficiently, and the road's in good condition currently, and therefore we don't need to take any more, what is it called when you... Assessment, yes. Oh. Yeah, that's the money that you pay in.
Gotcha.
Right. All right. So they're not even paying their HOA fees because everybody has evenly contributed in a small amount, right?
For so long.
That they're in good shape, right? So, but we are the exact opposite of that, and it's a huge frustration.
Gotcha.
It is.
Yep. Yeah, your road can get it's narrow.
Yeah.
And it's got some drainage issues.
It's
not yours, your community's road.
The community road was, I would say, not built up to a good standard. Yeah, it is narrow. There are not culverts that take water out of the ditch line. So now I'm not an expert at building roads, but I do know that if you have a ditch line and there's water flowing down the ditch, you don't want it to flow like a really, really long way without being interrupted. You want to take some of that water and shoot it off somewhere at the bank on the other side of the road.
Right.
And ours runs like a quarter mile down one ditch. And so all that water accumulates, and it's a very large volume of water by the time it gets to the bottom. Right. And it can cause more erosion. And there's always leaves and mud that washes out onto the pavement because of that. Right. So I'm going to go down there and I'm going to start digging. I'm literally, I have been maintaining these ditches, and I got a little track hoe that I'm going to use to also maintain the ditches because they're getting very bad now. And also, if you pull off in the ditch and it's too deep, you're stuck. When you don't need to be stuck, you could just be fine.
Yeah. We had, growing up, we had a long driveway, long gravel driveway, not paved. Yours is paved, most of it. But one of the things we always had to do was clean out the water breaks in there. And it started out, my dad had made water breaks out of like pressure treated 2x.
Oh, yeah.
Made a little, and he had
like
two
a little trough, right?
A little trough.
Like a little U-shaped trough. It goes across diagonally, kind of, right?
Yep. But those were hard to clean out when the gravel got in there. So we upgraded eventually to a piece of guardrail. Yeah. Upside down.
How about that?
Yep.
That makes a good one.
Yep.
They're hard to get those pieces of guardrails.
It was. Yeah, it took a while to find some pieces of guardrail.
Did you ever get
caught? No, somehow they got legal pieces of guardrail. We didn't steal them off the side of the road.
Okay.
No.
Whatever.
That was it. But anyway, I would say water breaks. Water management's a big part. So
it is.
But around your house, it's good. Your water management's good. Your site was laid out well. Did you do the excavation?
I hired out the majority of the dirt moving. We're talking big equipment, bulldozers and big excavators. So I hired that out to dig like the giant basement excavation. I used all that dirt, pulled it out, built a little flat yard beside my house. So in general, I like the layout of the land or immediately around my house. You know, I don't have any real regrets about that. We do have a lot of parking space, which I've just been recently trying to enlarge. And that's why I got a little mini excavator because I wanted to have more parking and because I have trailers and stuff all over the place for work.
Right.
And, you know, I just don't want to clutter it up too bad, but we need a little more space.
Yeah. You do have a good park. It's easy to go pull in, turn around, you know, and your drive for sure. The, what about trees? Would you do anything different with trees?
I recommend for people to not have a tree that could fall and hit your house. Yeah. So if you have a tree tall enough and close enough to your house to hit it and damage it, my recommendation is to cut it down, unless it's already leaning away so far enough that you know it could not hit your house. We have never really had any bad damages from trees on houses that we have built, but we did have one guy that called, said a tree fell on his house, and he had trees that should have been cut, you know, previously.
Yeah.
That's been my dad's thing too. He, you know, I learned that from him. You know, he always, he was building developments and house sites and things like that in the past. And, you know, he always was like, well, that tree's, you know, cut them. For the safety of your house and your family, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a big deal.
What about anything with like the house plan itself? Because you drew the house plans.
You know, for design, I think that's a good place to park it here for a minute and tell you some specific things about the design.
Okay.
Not necessarily related to the view or the sunset or anything like that. I'll tell you some things I like and some things I hate. I like that. So we have a 1-car garage. That's where my wife parks, right?
Okay.
So she can pull straight in. You walk through a small mudroom. You're right in the house, close to the kitchen. That makes sense. You're going to be carrying groceries in, or you're going to be, you know, kicking your shoes off, and you know that all that functions really well. If you go in the front door, like where if we had company, you know, my wife always hates it if I let people go through the garage.
Yeah.
You know, come through the front door. The guest bathroom is right beside the front door. Now that's good and bad because it's away from the dining room and the kitchen. Because you don't really want a bathroom directly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you don't want to be a guest blowing up the bathroom in and around
right
the kitchen
next to the dinner party.
I actually have a loud exhaust fan in my bathroom on purpose.
Is it 2 decibels?
You can you can buy really quiet ones now. You can't even hear them. And actually, that's a problem too because they get left on. Oh. And so our electrician now, most of the time, he encourages people to connect the exhaust fan and the light
together.
Yeah, so that you're going to shut the light off anyway because they're so quiet. You can't even hear. You'll leave it running forever. You just may never know it was on. But I got the loud exhaust fan for a little bit of noise coverage, privacy, if you will, for any guest that may want to, you know, okay, they flick on the fan and it's going, it sounds really bad and old. Sounds just like that. I wish, I don't know where else I would put it. See, some of these problems I may say, oh, well, this is a problem, but I don't have a good answer for it. What I found is I want more stuff away from other stuff. All right. And I'll explain what that means.
Okay.
Because I can tell by your look that you're like, that doesn't make sense. I get up pretty early in the morning, you know, not like you and your baker hours.
Right.
You know, not 3 and 4, but I get up at 5:20. 5:20 is actually exactly when I wake up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that when the alarm's set, or just that you just wake up naturally?
I have a superpower that you may or may not have.
Okay.
And maybe somebody else has this as well. I get up at 5:20, but my alarm is set for 5.
Okay.
All right. It goes off at 5. I reach over. It's on my phone, of course, so I have to fumble and feel the, you know, hit it on the screen, hit the stop button. And then I have a clock that's a little projector clock. You know what I'm talking about? It shines on the ceiling.
Yep. Okay.
So I look straight up at the ceiling and I see the time. So it's 5 o'clock. Great. Oh, I got more time to sleep. I don't have to get up till 5:20. So I go back to sleep for 2 or 3, 4 or 5 minutes. And I check the time again.
Okay.
I look at it. I'm like, oh, I still got some more time. Back to sleep. And I do this 3 to 4 times every morning until it's 5:20. And then I make myself get up even though I don't feel like getting up.
And what's the superpower?
That I don't just sleep forever after I go back to sleep.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know how.
Right.
I don't know how.
So instead of waking up at just 5:20 and sleeping a solid 20 minutes, you feel like you're beating the system by doing it in increments of 4 to 5 minutes each.
Yep. there's something about being woken up and then being able to go back to sleep and have the realization that you get to do that. Like if you just sleep in, you might wake up, at 8 o'clock or something and be like, wow, I feel great. I slept in. But what I used to do when I was a kid is, this is maybe a lifelong thing. I used to, on the weekends, set my alarm early as if I had to get up and go to school, say 6 o'clock.
Right.
For a normal kid that, catches the school bus like I did. I would wake up at 6 and then I would be like, oh, sweet, it's the weekend. Now I know that I get to go back to sleep. And I really enjoy those, minutes after that, or, an hour or two, maybe after that.
All
Is
right.
that crazy? Don't
No.
answer that.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
you can.
So, yeah. So,
So snoozing is your superpower.
yeah.
Well, when you put it that way, snoozing is my superpower. Yes, that's right.
That's great. I think that's going to,
It's-
I think that's going to go far. I think a lot of kids want that in their superpower.
You
book.
work on that. You try that.
I will.
See how it goes for you.
But anyway, tell me how that
Okay.
plays. How does that play into the house
I know
design?
it seems like that doesn't matter at all. How can I get up early and get ready to do whatever I'm doing without, bothering my wife or somebody that's not want to get up at 5, doesn't need to get up at 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to turn all the lights on. I don't turn the bedroom light on, but I go to the bathroom, which is down a very short hall, which I'm glad about, right? There's a little distance between the bedroom and the bathroom. And if anything, I would say I wish there was a little more distance, even though you want it to be as close as possible, because you don't want to walk a mile when you have to go to the bathroom at night. I wish there was some kind of, you know what line of sight means? If you can see straight to something.
I do.
Right? It's
Mhm.
kind of self-explanatory. I think it's best if room to room in the, let's say the bedroom especially, and from a public hall space, let's say the foyer. This is another thing I don't like, and it's all tied together, is that when you're in the foyer at my house, you walk in, hey, glad you could come over. If my bedroom door is open, you can see from the foyer into my bedroom. Now you can't see the bed because it's behind the door. But I don't like that, boom, you open the front door and you could look down the hall into my bedroom.
Gotcha.
Like, I should have made it to where you had to go down a hall and turn 90 degrees. It is kind of like that, but it's not enough. It's not enough. You know that there are bathrooms all over the place in schools and like Walmart or Lowe's. They don't have doors on the bathrooms.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's because they make you go down a little maze.
Right.
And that's a great idea, right? So you don't have to deal with doors. It's kind of the same thing. Like, so I think the bedroom, if I was going to design a house, I would want it to be where it's got its own privacy and you can't see straight in the bedroom from a public entry space.
Okay.
All right. In the same way, the closet and the bathroom off of the bedroom, I don't want to be like, oh, well, here's a problem too. My closet, the light switch is on the outside of the room.
Ooh.
Because I built like built-in cabinetry inside.
Right.
And it takes up all the wall space right to the trim. So there's no place for a light switch in the closet. So it's not like you can go in there and shut the door and then turn the light on. You got to turn the light on first and then go in there and shut the door.
Gotcha.
So there's going to be a moment where there's light and, sound of me, swinging the door or trying to get dressed, with dang hangers on your clothes, or they get stuck and you pull them and they, knock against the wall.
You can get one of those clap-on
Maybe
lights.
that doesn't happen to you. Maybe I should.
Put it in there.
I did install a little LED light, a little undermount cabinet light, like for kitchen stuff, underneath one of my little shelves. So I go and I can click that, and it's like a low light.
Mm-hmm.
Like as in, if you don't care what you look like when you get dressed, because you can't see what color any of your clothes are, you could do that one.
Gotcha. Perfect.
All right. So my dream bedroom, closet, bathroom would be to where I can turn the lights on and get dressed and get ready without disturbing somebody that's sleeping. Now,
Okay.
what does that look like exactly? I don't know.
You'd have to draw it.
I'd have to figure that out.
Yeah. Now, separate walk-in closets, his and hers?
No, just one.
Yeah.
Just one. Yeah.
And you would do that again?
It's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not bad. I have about...
Now,
Go ahead.
well, what about the toilet? Is the toilet in its own little room, its own little space?
Definitely. Now, me and my wife are close, but
That's
I
good.
don't like, if you're sharing a bathroom with your spouse, I don't love I don't like being in the same room as the toilet as somebody else is using the toilet.
Right.
I mean, maybe it's just me. You got me on that one. Although, all right. So yes, there's a small room
Okay.
for the toilet. It's within the bathroom, a separate room. I did not put an exhaust fan in that space there. I should have. The exhaust fan is in the, for the shower. It's
for moisture.
It's for moisture. Although we don't call them fart fans for nothing on the job site. That's kind of the short, name for them. I would put 2 in. I put 1 in there for the shower, and my shower's too small. That's another regret, I guess. It's a design problem, and we have a fiberglass shower unit. It's 3 foot by 4 foot.
Okay.
That's pretty small.
Yeah.
That's all the space we had for it in my design. I should have designed it bigger.
Do you have a garden tub?
I do have a big tub.
Does
Does
it have plants in it?
No, but I actually do use the tub.
Oh, okay.
I actually use it myself. And when I cut my fingers off, I couldn't take showers. Or I didn't want to. Couldn't, whatever. I took baths for 6 months.
Gotcha. So you could keep your hand like out.
Hands up.
Yeah.
Taking a bath. Chilling,
I guess it's hard to do that in the shower. Get water all over the place.
I guess it would be
open.
a little more messy, but I do have a plan. So this is something interesting I think about the fiberglass all-in-one shower unit. Okay. It is the most affordable kind of shower or tub. Okay. Now in a shower, you could just buy the shower base, which is 3 to 4 or 4 maybe 4 to 5 inches tall, right?
Yep.
It's got the little side walls, and then you could tile.
That's
down.
what I did in here.
Yep. Or you could buy the prefab, like little wall kit that sticks to the drywall,
Well, I did the 6'3" tile.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool stuff.
Yeah, but I did the base. So I bought the base from Lowe's, and then I got that 6'3" tile stuff.
And do you like it?
Yeah.
It went good?
I mean, I haven't showered in it. I had some guests shower in it, and they said it worked great.
Is it in here?
It is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's literally behind the
right
Let
behind,
Jamie Talk
it's
wall.
right behind there, yep. There you go, touching that again.
I can't help myself. It's just I want to touch it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me tell you what I know about this.
Okay.
That frustrates me, and also gives me hope for the future. Okay, everybody is probably familiar with if you're in construction that if somebody says they want a custom shower, you got to build the mud pan, or you have to use a system like the foam board, like Schluter or C.R.E.W. And there's other brands I can't think of them. But anyway, there's systems designed for that, so you don't have to be, making the slope of the shower pan yourself out of concrete, and knowing that you did all the steps properly, because they're prone to leaking if you mess it up, right? And that's a big liability for a builder or for a tile guy. So I recommend the systems that are made for that out of the foam board. And okay, let's back up. The fiberglass shower unit.
Okay.
And I have to clear my throat or drink some tea, so we're gonna take just a quick pause.
Well, yeah. In our main house over here, I did with my dad's assistance, we did sloping it ourselves with the concrete.
Did you slope it enough?
It's working, but there's no leaks and it's working. So, but there's a waterproof barrier underneath that concrete that goes up the wall.
Keep talking.
So
I'm spraying my throat.
But it's working so far. But it is difficult to. I don't think I could have done it without some assistance from somebody that had worked with more concrete than I had.
Sure.
So
okay, got my voice back thanks to my spray.
In our guest bathroom, we did the just a fiberglass tub shower.
Fiberglass.
Unit. Yeah.
Right.
Well, and just the tub because I tiled up above it, but I didn't really. You have to put concrete underneath those too.
You're supposed to, if you do it right, you're supposed to pre-slope underneath the pan material. It's called it looks like a pond liner. It's a thick rubber membrane, right? Yeah, apparently to do it properly, you put a pre-slope under that. You put down the rubber membrane. It ties into the drain kit. You fold it up the walls. You don't cut the corners. You double, triple, overlap, fold the corners. It's a pain because it builds up a thickness that you don't want. We almost always have to chisel out like a recessed area for those folds to go so that they end up flush. So the tile doesn't kick in at the bottom, because that's pretty obvious when that happens. But it's hard because you got to overlap your backer board over that membrane, but you can't put screws through it, or you're not supposed to.
Right.
It's just like, I don't love that system. Maybe people are really good at putting it in. I'm terrible at it, but all right, let me get to what I think is a good point here on this.
Okay.
Is that my shower feels small. And it's partially not because of the size, although that may seem crazy to say, but because the fiberglass unit itself is built in from the wall surfaces. Okay, so like at the top of it, it's like 1.5 inches thick. And so boom, you lost 3 inches if you got both sides. Out of that 4 feet, you lost 3 inches there. Then you come down a little more and it's got another step out, like for a ledge for your soap and the little handle, whatever that's for. And so by the time all the little step downs and the ledges and the shelves are all built into this thing, the footprint, like where you're standing in the floor, is really small, super small.
Yeah.
Right. So what I want to do is eventually, when I get frustrated enough or something goes wrong with it, which probably nothing is ever going to go wrong with it, is I'm going to bust that thing out of there and I'm going to do a tile shower.
Okay.
Because I can go straight to the studs with the tile. Then I gain that space back. And then if you want to do a shampoo holder, you do a recessed one into the stud bay.
Right.
Or you just hang it off of the shower head, which we do that too. And it's quite convenient. So, and actually in our rental houses, we have these like stick-on things where they're just a shampoo, like a hotel. It's just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's like body wash, shampoo, conditioner. That's all I need. Okay.
I got it.
Here's
It's called Beckman.
Beckman. B-E-E.
Beekman.
Beekman. It's a nice little caddy. It sticks to the, you use like 3M double stick tape or something like that. And they're really secure. And they are fantastic. Now, I got to ask you a question.
Okay.
And then I'm going to answer the question for myself.
Sure.
How many bottles of different product like shampoo, conditioner, so on, are in your shower?
On my side?
No, the whole thing.
No. In the whole thing, probably 20.
Okay, well,
Yep.
that's good. That's good.
I have 2.
Okay,
I have body wash and I have shampoo,
okay. Well,
but it doesn't always work that way on the other side of the shower.
I'm sure you've swung around and elbowed one and have it drop on your toe, and you're like,
No, my shower's pretty big. I don't have that problem.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm happy for you.
Yeah. It's like 6x4.
Okay, that's real nice.
It's big.
That's real.
Well,
nice.
it's double. There's a shower head on each side.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, you're putting me to shame here.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
This is great. I'm not going to tell my wife that you have an amazingly large shower and ours is terribly small. Well, I counted. We had 19 the other day.
Yeah.
So I confronted my wife. I said, "Hey, listen, we got to talk serious. There's 19 bottles in the shower, right?" I was like, "I only need like a bar of soap. I literally could just have a bar of soap." But I know for women and hair and the facial soap and I don't know all this stuff. There's special soap.
Yep.
Okay. So if I'm using her special soap and I don't know it's special, I see a bar of soap, and then I find out that was a special bar of soap.
Right.
It has a special purpose.
And then she tells you how much it costs.
Then I'm like, okay. So I started getting my own soap. All right, we're getting stuff figured out now. We're working on it.
19 years in.
All right. So the regret is that the shower is too small. I can't really, bulldoze that part of the house and make a bigger one, but I could make it bigger by doing a tile shower, and I could extend it out in the 3-foot direction. I could extend it out 3 or 4 more inches, and it would feel, I think, a lot larger.
But if you build another house, would you make a bigger bathroom in general?
I think overall the bathroom would be bigger.
Square footage.
I think so.
Yeah.
Just make it as big as the bedroom.
Bigger master bedroom. Bigger master bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bedroom's not that huge, really. It's like 14 by 15.
King size bed?
No, queen.
Ooh.
By the way, I need a new bed. Holy moly. If anybody out there, this is actually really good. If anybody out there knows about mattresses, I need a new mattress. And we've had this one. There's a time limit on mattresses,
There is.
right?
I don't think
What
you
is
should
it?
say. I don't think you should.
No, come on. No. I mean, what is it? There's a general rule. How long a mattress? Is it 8 years?
Brett will look it up.
Come on.
Google
man.
knows.
This is no big deal. I've had mine more than that long. And, it's like where I sleep is like a giant indention in my mattress.
Did you
Right.
know you're supposed to rotate your mattress?
Well, I don't know. Obviously, 7 to 10. I got more than that. It's more than 10.
It's 19.
So, I was getting worried about this like big dent in my mattress where I sleep. So I went to the doctor. I was like, hey, I'm having this problem. They did all kinds of tests, and turns out I'm just a heavy sleeper. Okay. All right. Okay. There we go. Now, my bed, I've been sleeping in same spot for a long time. So, okay, here's the question. What's a good mattress that's not super expensive? I mean, I need to buy, I'm like literally going to buy one.
Okay.
But I don't want to get ripped off and buy some super $5,000 mattress that is,
I've got you covered.
I'm not doing that. You already know?
Yeah. There's a company out there called Brooklyn Bedding.
Brooklyn Bedding.
It started out as Arctic Dreams. They had this line of mattress.
Wow.
That was very affordable. We have one in our, when we bought this camper, the mattress in there was awful. So we had to get something else for there. And my soon-to-be brother-in-law told me about this company.
Say it again. I already forgot.
Brooklyn Bedding.
Brooklyn Bedding.
Is what it's called now. Brooklyn
like New
Bedding.
York and Brooklyn.
Yep. Brooklyn Bedding.
Brooklyn Bedding.
But man, they've got different levels. So you can go base level or you can go super high end.
What, do you work for them?
Yeah, I do. Yes.
Not sponsored.
Yeah. No.
Okay. This is all. Yeah. We're not sponsored by Brooklyn Bedding,
No,
but
they,
I literally am going to look them up.
When they want somebody to come lay on their mattresses, they fly me to Brooklyn.
Is that right?
Yep.
So upon your recommendation, you think they're good,
I think they're great.
and you think they're
I
not?
think I've told Brett about these for your rentals too.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
I have.
Well, I can tell you the beds in our rentals, they're nicer than my bed.
I do appreciate a good bed in a rental.
Yeah.
For sure. Nobody likes to go slip on, but it's hard to judge. You got to get it just right because some people like hard mattress, some people like soft mattress.
What are you gonna do?
Right in the middle.
This is like
You gotta go right in the middle.
what is the bears? The three bears and
Yeah.
I don't know what's the
three
girl's
bears.
name. I don't know what is it.
Goldilocks.
Yeah, there it is. That's right. And the porridge and the beds and
Yeah. Wow.
it's all that.
Mm-hmm. Nursery rhyme stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Stories.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see what else. Let's see what else.
All right. We focused a little bit on the master area, bed, bath, closet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a big part of a home is kitchen. Everybody's always hanging out in the kitchen. So tell me what you would do different in the kitchen.
All right. All right. I would build a bigger kitchen, or I would have more space between. We have a little island that we use a lot for bar seating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, in your island too is like
it's 2 levels.
It's 2 levels. It's stepped.
It is
with the sink in the island.
Yes, I'll tell you why. No, the sink is not in the island.
It's not in the island.
It's right. It's right behind it.
Is the stove in the island?
No, just a trash can and some drawers and all that. So I really like the island. I don't know what it is about an island thing I like.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's cool, I guess. Let me tell you some problems I've had though.
Okay.
The island is maybe 5 feet. Yeah, I think it's 5 feet by 2 feet for the cabinetry. And then there's a raised bar area in an L shape around it. And the idea is that because it's raised, if you're in the living room, let's say you have company, you had dinner, you could put some dirty dishes or something or whatever's left over from your dinner serving. Excuse me there. And then you wouldn't be able to see it from the living room.
Okay.
Because it's raised up and it would kind of hide stuff. That was my thinking. It is kind of my catch-all too, though. We're trying to figure that out. I would add a good catch-all spot. Like your keys, your phone, your wallet, stuff you're doing every day. I don't have a great catch-all spot.
And that's not in the mudroom that you walk through from the garage?
Well, we do, and it catches all kinds of other stuff. But like for my keys, my wallet, and my phone, and my pocket knife that I use every day, and a pen or a Sharpie or whatever that's always in my pocket, I always put it on the corner of the bar. But that's like, it looks junky because there's always junk there.
Yeah.
It's always my junk.
Mm.
Or bills that need to get paid that I can't forget about. They go there too.
Gotcha.
So
I have some friends that built a house with they had a second kitchen almost.
Nice.
Well, it's not really a second kitchen. It's more like that's where their dirty dishes go.
Mm.
Like the dirty dishes don't go in the sink in the main part of the kitchen. They go behind this wall in like a prep kitchen where you can't see the dirty dishes and your guests can't see the dirty dishes. And I think, it works for them. I think it'd be dangerous for me though, because I'm afraid that the dirty dishes might just stay there and build up.
You might just forget about them. I mean, I'm trying to think what this might be called. Is it a prep kitchen?
I don't know what the official name is.
It is
I think
thing
that's your category of.
In a nice house, I think this is a good. I don't want to say it's a trend. I think it's a feature.
Yeah, it's
a good feature. I think of a maybe a larger house where you've got the space to put another kitchen-like area.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, back to things I dislike.
Island.
There's several things about my kitchen I dislike.
Okay.
Physical size, obviously, that it could be bigger. And you know what? The thing is, though, I got to say, if I was to fix all this stuff, and designed my house from the beginning to accommodate all these things that I would have changed, it would end up way bigger. And I probably wouldn't have been able to afford it.
Right.
Right. So this is like, it's like, what do you do? Well, the space in between the island and the stove and the dishwasher are like side by side. And the refrigerator's right there. I mean, I've got everything pretty close. So I followed the rule. You know about the rule.
The triangle.
The triangle, and it's a certain number of feet. What is it, 17 feet? I forget. I don't know. You want them pretty close. And I like the workflow of our kitchen, but if you got more than 2 people in there, or even like if 2 people are trying to cook together, it's frustrating because you can't get by. If you got the trash can drawer open, you can't get by. If you got the oven open, you can't get by. If you got the dishwasher open, you can't get by. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a problem. Pantry doors, anything like that. Now, also the sink. A lot of people put the sink in front of a window.
Right.
So you can
have something to look at. Yeah.
Look out the window. Well, I put my sink looking at a wall. And not only that, I thought, well, there's a wall. I should put a cabinet above the sink as well. And so I did, because we need the space. So I got this big cabinet over the sink. Now, because I'm not tall, but I'm not short. I'm like maybe 5'10". So like when I'm washing dishes, the cabinet's like this in my face.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Pretty close.
And my wife's shorter. Maybe it's maybe not bothering her as much. But when I go to somebody's house and like the kitchen or the sink area is wide open and there's like a big window and I'm like, whoa, this is cool. Then I have regrets about the way I built my kitchen.
Gotcha.
But my kitchen is efficient and it's small and I could afford it when I built it.
Right. But you couldn't have put a window anywhere in your kitchen.
It would look in the hallway to the bedroom is where it would go. And I have even considered, I've mentioned it at least, that if I redesign my kitchen, I would put it where the dining room is, where the view is. But then that would consume the place where the dining room is. Where do you put it? Put it back in where the kitchen was? I don't know. Okay, moving a kitchen is a big expense.
Right.
It's probably the most expensive room you could move in a house. I mean, you got plumbing, we have gas piping because we have a little gas cooktop. All the electrical, there's a lot of special electrical in a kitchen, of course. Even, there's water lines going to the dishwasher and the refrigerator for an ice maker. All the lighting under cabinet, we've got some under cabinet lighting. Okay, I'm just saying, you get the point. If you move a kitchen, you're going to spend tons of money. To me, it's not worth it.
Okay.
Right now, at least.
But if you rebuilt your house, you would change it.
Yep. I'd put a big space, like 4 feet in between
cabinets.
Gotcha. Yeah. If you have an island and another part of your kitchen cabinets, 4 feet. I think I did 3 feet maybe.
Oh, yeah.
That's like a minimum. And it feels tight. It feels small.
Okay. Lighting's good, though?
Lighting's
lighting?
okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy. There's a couple levels of lighting.
What about natural light?
It's pretty good natural light.
Okay.
Except for if the curtains were all closed from the night before and we didn't reopen them, then in the morning it's dark.
Right.
In there. And I'm like, I got to open all the curtains.
I guess house orientation, too, can sort of affect natural light, too. Depending on how many trees and all that stuff. If you have a mountain behind you or... So
I have a bedroom upstairs that is... Well, it's actually my office, but it's our guest bedroom now. Yeah. And we don't ever have guests. I don't know what. No. It's a sewing room. We have a bed up there, and it's a guest room and a sewing room. And it was my office for a while. And I put it in that orientation in the house. I don't know why I thought of the office. I didn't think of any other part of the house as far as the sun. But it's on the east side of the house. So I'm like, okay, I get up early. I'm probably going to be in my office doing, home building contract related book work or whatever. Then it'd be nice if it was light in there in the mornings early. So I put it on that side of the house. Yeah. Well, I never go up there ever. I don't even have an office now, really. I have a desk. Right. But like my truck is my office. Yeah. I literally do almost all my business work in the seat of my truck. It's ridiculous.
Perfect. That's a nice office.
I guess. Have you seen my truck? Are we talking about the same truck?
What about windows and doors? Do you think? Would you add any more windows, or would you do different, bigger like size windows?
Yeah, in the dining room, we have considered putting a bigger. I put what I thought was a big view window in the dining room. It's like a 4 foot by 4 foot piece of glass that doesn't open, and then on each side of it is a little tiny double hung window. So it's like a 4 foot, 2 foot 2. It's like an 8 foot wide unit by 4 feet tall.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a 8040. But that 4-foot square piece, we have a decent view. It would be better to have a bigger window. And all these ideas about what I maybe would change, it all comes down to what it would cost to make something different. It's like, okay, well, what does it cost to make that whole wall glass? And we did one for somebody, a replacement of a whole wall, made it all glass, floor to ceiling. I'm talking like commercial aluminum track, nice glass. It was $10,000 just for the window.
Wow.
All right. So cost, I'll tell you what I paid for all my windows. I paid $14,000 for all my windows and doors. And it was like, I remember even looking at it, was 36, there's 36 windows and doors together.
Mm-hmm.
And I paid $14,000. If you divide the math, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that was a long time. That was a long time ago too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's very affordable.
Right.
And I would say cheaper vinyl windows. I think they're Pella's actually. I got it from Lowe's.
Yeah.
Builder. Yeah. It's called Thermistar is the line. And they're okay. They're not. There's nothing wrong with them. They were affordable. I don't hate them. They've been fine, but they are not premium, high grade. And I don't think I've ever even seriously considered replacing them because of the cost.
Yeah.
Dude, if you went high end or mid high end, let's say you went mid high end and you replaced them, it'd be $100,000.
Yeah.
Do I want to spend $100,000 to do that? No.
I just I did a little project at the house where one of ours got broken.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was whatever. It was an older window. It was a double pane, but the outside pane got busted somehow. Looked like somebody threw a baseball at it. But
pane in the glass.
Yeah, man. And what I did was I'm not gonna laugh. Is I was able to order just another double pane unit to replace. So take the double hung window out, take the molding, the trim off of that.
All of it fit.
Yeah. Well, you have to take it out and measure it.
Oh.
You have to take it apart first and measure it, get those correct measurements, thickness and width. And then when it comes in, so I replaced 3 of them just yesterday.
Wow.
Or day before
I'll call
yesterday.
you next time I break a window.
Yeah. So, and they look great. And it costs $400.
That is very reasonable.
So, yeah.
Good on you for that.
Yeah, because I was like, you see all these commercials on TV, like, oh, come replace your windows. And I'm like, yeah, or remortgage your house. Same thing.
It could cost a lot. A lot.
But what about, do you have like French doors? Is it a sliding door on the porch or is it just single door?
I have a single entry door on the front porch. You
Right.
walk up to the house, ding dong, hit the bell. It's a single door. It's got little side lights, which I have regrets about that because I don't know why I thought it'd be good. I get this like frosted, lead shaped, little, I don't know what they're, little diamond shapes and little round. I don't know. Godly, I thought it'd be cool. But now it's like, if you want to see who's like pulling into your driveway and you look at, there's like one little piece of glass that is not like frosted. And when I say frosted, I mean like ice looking design.
Can't see through it.
So you got to find the one little diamond shaped piece of glass that is not frosted and like sight through it like you're looking through some binoculars and look outside. And my cats do the same thing. The side lights go all the way down to the floor.
Yeah.
And so there's like I said, randomly, there's a clear piece of glass built into that frosted design, and my cats will be like trying to look out that one little stupid piece of glass at the bottom. And I asked my wife the other day, why did we get this stupid glass? Why wouldn't you just get regular glass? And she's like, I don't know. Let's fix it. Let's change it. So I might, might do that because you can unscrew. It's got a vinyl, like little sandwich of vinyl that screws in, and you can take them out reasonably easy. Put in a clear piece of glass or something.
Yeah, you should do that.
But onto my porch, I have a 6-foot wide vinyl sliding door.
Okay,
works fine. It's cheap. It's great. Never had a problem with it.
With your porches, would you have bigger porches, or would you have a deck?
Yeah, I thought I was doing myself a pretty good sized porch. It's 10 feet by 20 feet.
Right.
I thought that was pretty big, right? And it's it's good for 2-3 people. Not that I have like a bunch of people over all the time or nothing, but
well, you live with 5.
I mean, yeah, my kids. I got 3 kids. I think 20 by 20 is where it's at.
Yeah.
And I thought about adding that extra 10 feet, but then I got to redesign my roof. I want it covered.
Right.
I would get more shade, which I love shade.
Mm-hmm.
I've also considered that and then considered the cost
Right.
and said it's not worth it right now.
Yeah.
Eventually, plus you gotta have time to do it.
What about the eaves? Would you make the eaves longer? No. How long are your eaves?
16 inches
I don't know.
overhangs.
What's standard?
I think 12 to 16 might be standard.
Yeah.
So it's okay. It's just fine.
Yeah.
The
Fireplace? Would you do a fireplace again?
Yeah, I like the fireplace. I would start with something like a wood stove insert, though, from the beginning instead of doing what I did. I think we talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
At some point. I think that was on an episode that never went out, though. So for everybody that didn't hear the episode that never went out,
Yeah.
I put in a regular.
Well, it went out on Patreon, actually.
Oh, did it?
Mhm.
Oh.
That first one?
Oh, yeah,
That
yeah, yeah.
first one?
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
It's on
So
Patreon.
somebody heard it, I hope.
I think some people listen to it.
All right. Well, I'll condense really, really condensed. I have a metal insert wood burning firebox.
Yep.
You can light real wood in it, but it just has a damper that is fully shut or fully open. So that's a problem. I can't tell you all the reasons why. It'd take too long. And so because we hated that after using it some, we put in a wood stove that is built to go inside a metal firebox.
Gotcha.
And there's very limited options because that's kind of a quirky thing to do. But there are companies, I think Fireplace Extraordinaire is the brand made by Travis Industries that makes that thing. It is made to go in that way. And it works great. So we burn wood for heat some. So I like having that option.
Okay.
I do. It doesn't heat the whole house. It'll be 85 in the living room and it'll be cold everywhere else.
Where's your laundry room?
It is adjacent to the bedroom, which
Okay.
I do like, and close to the master bathroom. And we, it's not huge, but it's
But not connected to the mudroom.
It's not. No.
Okay.
And it's, we only have one laundry room, so all the kids' laundry comes downstairs, which is not a problem at all. I like it being really close to the master bedroom. That's fantastic. We did do some sound insulation in those walls. I would highly recommend that. At least, if nothing else, and maybe you're doing your own project or something, or you're building a house, definitely put some fiberglass or some other kind of sound insulation between your laundry and the bedroom. It just makes it a lot quieter. You can close the door and it's you almost can't hear it.
How about bathrooms? Would you do that in bathrooms?
Yeah, it's good to do, especially the guest bath that's in the hallway that I was telling you about. Yeah, definitely nice to do some sound insulation to isolate the bathrooms from,
Right.
the public spaces in the house.
Let's see. What about would you do if you were to build another house? Would it be single? Would it be a single level house or would it be multi-level?
I like a basement. Where we live in the mountains, a basement makes a lot of sense in a lot of places, a lot of sites. So, a lot of sites actually demand a basement, You know what I'm saying?
I do.
So, if you live somewhere flat, maybe a basement's not very popular, like in Florida, or, slab on grade is the number one, type of foundation construction there. Where we live, hey, a basement's great. And there's all this debate about crawl spaces, and we'll maybe talk about crawl spaces some other time. There's a lot of building science now going on, and I'm not a building science expert, so I can't offer any real technical insight. But instead of a crawl space, I would prefer a basement, given the option. It's great storage. For me, all of mine's open underneath, so I can see the wiring, the plumbing underneath my house, as if it was a crawl space, but it's a basement. And yeah, it's relatively cheap square footage for storage or whatever else. And if you want to finish it later, it gives you a good place to build a space that you want included in your house. Maybe you can't afford it when you first build, but you say, I'm going to finish it later. And there's a lot of houses we've built that way. Right. 5 to 10 years later, the homeowner calls and says, hey, I want to finish my basement now. And boom, they double their square footage.
Now, there's some places you can't even have a basement though.
Yeah,
right?
Like what kind of?
I don't know. Can you have a basement in Florida?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I guess you could dig a hole in sand as long as you didn't hit water.
Right. I think it's how close you are to the water table, right?
I guess so.
Right.
Never thought about that. Pylons. That's all I can think.
What about your flooring? Do you like? I mean, is it wood or is it tile? Is it?
It's mostly wood. Mostly wood flooring. I do have carpet in the bedrooms, and
do you like that?
I actually do like it. I bet you in the last 10 years, I have not had any carpet installed in a house.
Okay.
Nobody wants carpet.
No. Does yours need to be replaced? Or is it good?
It's showing some signs of age, wear patterns, you know, because the bed stayed in the same spot for this, you know, our traffic pattern is wearing on it. And my cats, if you shut the door and they want in, they can reach under the door and grab the edge of the carpet and pick at it. Oh my goodness. That's a problem. It's probably more of a cat problem than a carpet problem.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But, you know, all right. I do like carpet in the bedroom. I don't know if I just like that it's soft and it's quieter. Okay. So carpet is quieter because it absorbs sound. It's not reflective like a hardwood floor. You could put rugs on a hardwood floor and that'd be fine. We didn't get terribly expensive carpet. You can get really nice carpet.
Right.
I mean, dude, we put carpet in this one house that was, let me think of what it was made of. Was it wool? No.
Wool?
What's it? No, was it wool? What's a really expensive carpet material?
You're out of my realm. Yeah.
Could it be wool? Let me think. Is it possible to have wool carpet? I'm
I
stuck.
don't know.
I'm stuck on this.
You're not selling me. I don't want wool
It was
carpet.
beautiful. It was very expensive. Apparently, it lasts forever. Brett's looking on the computer right now to see if wool carpet is a real thing or if I just made that
let's
up.
talk about the hardwood floors. Like in the kitchen area, it's hardwood too, right?
Oh man, yeah.
But
All
what
right.
kind of hard? It's not just
Yeah, in wool.
really.
Okay, Ben.
Wow.
Okay.
All right, wool
I'm
carpet.
getting word that wool carpet is a real thing.
It's a luxury, expensive carpet.
Okay.
material.
Brett says it's a luxury, expensive carpet material, and you probably get what you pay for when you pay for a wool carpet.
Okay.
From my experience, the one that I had installed for this homeowner, it was amazing. I never seen anything like it.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
yeah, you can. There's that.
Noted.
All right, so let me tell you what flooring I do have in my house. It is wormy red oak, and it's 5-inch wide boards. It's tongue and groove flooring, like standard wood flooring. And I do have regrets about it because I got a good deal on it, and that's why I bought it. Now, did I say wormy already?
You did.
It's wormy. That means
what does
it has holes in it everywhere. Not every piece does, but for the most part, and while it does look good, and it does, I do like the appearance of it. I like the color of it. The milling or the machining on it. Now, not everybody's going to be with me on this and maybe understand what I'm saying, but it's in a tongue and groove floor. They interlock one board to the next, right? And you nail one side of that one edge. You nail the tongue edge of the flooring with a flooring nailer, like a giant nail or a staple. And then the next board, the groove edge engages with the tongue side and it holds that edge. And then you nail the opposite edge of that. And you go on and so on. That's how tongue and groove works so that you don't have any exposed fasteners, right? It's a hidden fastener design that somebody came up with. It's brilliant. But with a wider board, you get more expansion and contraction per board than with a narrower board. And because of that, there are some gaps in my floor where there is dried some. In some places it did and some it didn't. But the milling, the biggest thing that drives me crazy is that the milling is a little sloppy. So the tongue and groove fit is a little loose. And what that means is you step on a board and you feel it move a little compared to the board right beside it if you step on the crack, which you always are. I mean, I don't go dancing around.
Don't step on the cracks.
In addition to that, there's a hump in my floor because my slab on the basement had a hump in it and I didn't realize it.
Ooh.
So I didn't do as good of a job getting the slab as flat as I should have. And I did it all myself. So I started building the walls and the floor on top of it and then realized there's a hump in my floor. And it's because there's a hump in the slab and it just is transferred up to the next level. And I didn't get it all resolved. It was too late by the time I realized it. And so I have problems with my wood flooring going over a hump because of that.
Gotcha.
So that's a problem. In addition to that, in the kitchen, sometimes you get water on the floor. Sometimes you're going to have more spills in the kitchen. For example, you kick a bottle of olive oil off the counter by accident. And, well, you don't kick it maybe, but it falls and it breaks. All right. What happens when olive oil soaks into all those holes in the gaps and everything because it's wormy and it's not filled solid? So we didn't do a solid filler where you would have filled every void and sealed over top of them. The holes are open still down through the wood. All right. And so anything that you spill, it's going in there.
Right.
Okay. Now I have kids and I have pets. All right. Kids and pets get sick. What happens? I'm just saying.
It goes into the floor.
If your kid pukes on the floor or your cat
He said it.
does something that you don't want to deal with cleaning up, It went in the cracks and in the holes. And you might clean the surface and you might clean it as good as you can, but guess what? It's still in there.
Shop vac.
I'm just saying. Shop vac. I should try that. That's a problem. I don't know if I'll ever get over that. I actually would love to refinish my floors and be able to seal all the holes and all the gaps so that I had a cleanable top surface.
You could do that.
I mean,
you've never refinished those floors.
I have not, and they still look good, is why I haven't. And also, it's a big deal to refinish a whole house that's furnished, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got everything in there. What are you going to do with all your stuff?
Yeah,
I don't know. Is the answer?
Did you say you do a bigger garage?
I would. I have a single car garage.
Right. You said you do a bigger one.
And I would love to have
How many doors?
one door.
No, I know, but in the next
Oh, if I could do whatever I want,
Yeah.
dude, I would do a 3-car garage.
Ooh.
But it'd be huge. It's another thing. It's like, what can I afford to build? What do I have space to build?
I mean, the workshop's pretty big.
The workshop is good.
Yeah. It's a pretty good size.
But that's for all my work stuff, you know.
So as a general concept, like, would you, for the house itself, would you go bigger or smaller on your next house? Bigger or smaller?
You know, gosh, I don't know. I don't know, because the bigger it is, the more it costs and the more it is to maintain.
Right.
And you got to pay to heat it and cool it. And I don't know.
Same size.
I'm pretty happy with the size of it.
Okay.
All in all, even with all my complaints and all my considerations, for the money that it cost to build it and my enjoyment of it,
yeah,
I'm quite happy.
Now, what would you say? Give me your biggest. What is the number one biggest regret of your house build? That, if you had to think about number one biggest regret of what you did.
I would have put more rebar in my block wall, as silly as that sounds.
I didn't see that coming.
I mean, a house is nothing without a good foundation, I feel like.
Okay.
And I laid all the block in my own house and had, my crew and whoever was with me, friends. You may have even helped. I don't know if you helped me mix mud and lay block. I laid block and poured them solid with concrete.
Mm-hmm.
Some's 12-inch block, some is 8-inch block. It all has vertical steel, like number 5 5/8 steel vertically, maybe every 24 inches in the cores. Well, horizontal rebar is not required in a block foundation where we live.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it's really hard to add that horizontal rebar later. So I have some vertical cracking lines in my block foundation. Now it could just be cracking from, either settling or from walls being longer than they should be without a control joint, like a place for it to purposefully crack, if you will. Like 20 feet is kind of the max wall length without a place for it to crack on purpose.
Gotcha.
Right. So you put a control joint or that's what it's called. So I didn't do that anywhere. And typically we don't in residential hardly ever. You see it in commercial everywhere. If you look at, like, go outside any big building like Walmart or Lowe's or any giant block made building, usually the shell of them is made of concrete blocks and the interior is a steel structure.
Gotcha.
But you will see these giant, like 1/2 to 3/4 inch wide caulk joints in the block work, but you'll notice there's no crack in the block work.
Right.
And so anyway, I would have put much more steel in my foundation.
Okay.
Because I just can't stand to see the cracks, even though they're not hurting anything. It's not going anywhere.
How does a house settle forever? Is there a time frame on a house settling?
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
It depends on what part of it's settling. The houses that are really old that I've worked on, they were continuing to settle over time for a long time because the wood part of the floor was rotting and they were just sinking into the ground.
Sitting on rocks.
And there was no real foundation, just stacked up rocks holding the corners, and it
Gotcha.
was just forever sinking into the ground. For a modern house, I don't think they should maybe settle for maybe a year.
Right.
Maybe.
Okay.
Although I did have some doorways kind of shift in my house, a small amount. And I was like, what in the world? Some settling. And some very minute cracks from the corner of a door trim. There's 2 in my house.
Gotcha.
I've seen them. I pretend like they're not there.
Did you fix them yet?
No, I'm not going to fix them. I'm going to leave them.
It's a reminder of settling. Yeah.
I don't think a house should settle. like for more than a year, maybe. I'll tell you what, the number one thing I see settling happen though, and this would maybe continue on, is when you have deck footings or porch footings that are built off the edge of a bank, which is common where we live, and it's in fill dirt. Now, you are supposed to dig all the way through the fill dirt, all the way to what we call virgin soil or original ground, and you'll know because you'll dig through, some topsoil that's darker color, or you'll dig into leaves or some grass or whatever was growing there, and you can usually tell.
Gotcha.
Even if you get them dug deep enough, sometimes porch footings are the most prone to settling over time. And you might notice, your porch is leaning downhill or something bad's happening and you're going to have to fix it and address that somehow. I've had to do a few.
Gotcha.
And not always.
That happened with?
Yeah, not always ones that I built. One or two that I built that we had one or two posts, like out of maybe 6 or 8 posts, maybe one of them that would happen to.
Gotcha.
And it would be in the worst corner that had the most backfill or the deepest backfill. And we dug as deep as we could or whatever. We thought it was good. And maybe one of them settled a little bit.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of changes I think that you would make on your next house.
Yeah. I mean,
if you did it.
This could be a 10-part series.
Yeah,
I mean,
let's keep going, huh? On a lot.
Little stuff bothers me, but I don't go psycho about it. I mean, I'm not like storming around my house, like losing my cool, pulling my hair out, you know?
You're just making mental notes.
Mental note. Yep. That bothers me. Yep. Would change that. Yep. But I do, like I said, overall for the money, it's one of those things. If you had unlimited money and you would just design whatever you like, sure. But
yeah,
I don't know anybody like that, and I'm not one of those people either. So,
well, thanks for filling me in on that. I think that'll help with the house that I never build either. So,
sure.
It'll be great.
Well, there's hope for somebody. Maybe somebody listening can think about all this stuff and then take one of these things and be like, you know what, I'm going to do this, and make an improvement in your design or even a remodel. Anyway, yeah, that's good for now on my house stuff. There's more, but we'll save it.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be right back. So Stay tuned. During this short break, we just wanted to take a chance to make sure you've had the opportunity to go to the PerkinsBuilderBrothers.com website, check out the merch store, see all the designs that we have, new ones coming out all the time. There's also other resources built into the site here, frequently asked questions, contact us page, send us an email, send us some questions, any of those things there. But be sure to check this out. We know Mother's Day and Father's Day is coming up, so great gift ideas on here for the Perkins Builder Brothers fan. And if you have any questions, just reach out and we will be sure to get back to you. Back to the show. All right. That was a nice break.
Wasn't it?
I appreciate that.
I had to wipe all the sweat off my face.
It's not that hot.
Turn the air on.
Yeah, it's just blowing outside air. It's the fan.
Oh. Well, no wonder.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Need some AC up in here. I know that's an AC unit. I see it.
It says 76 though. That is a little warm. I guess.
72 is where it's at.
That's what you leave your house on?
I do, because I don't want to sweat at night when I'm trying to go to sleep. I run a fan too. We got a fan on the ceiling.
Okay.
Run it all night, every night. And I open the windows in the summertime.
I like the fans on, yeah.
It's warm enough or cool at night.
Well, my house is set on 74, but my house is old, so it's not very efficient necessarily in all parts. So 74 is a good, manageable power bill.
Okay. It's fine as long as you're not sweating at night. That's something I really can't stand.
Yeah. Well, the bedroom's in the newer part of the house, so it's better. It's got.
Good.
Yeah.
More modern.
Yeah. All right. Question and answers.
All right.
Well, I've just got questions. You've got answers.
I don't know if I do, but we'll see.
All right.
That's the fun of it.
So here we go again, where I have to try to figure out everybody's name.
I think that's fun to listen to. Go ahead.
James Hilnier, 1846 asked on YouTube. He said you might have answered this before, but would you rather build an average sized house, a small house, or a mega sized house
for a customer? I guess.
Yeah, I mean, as far as being a builder, what do you enjoy more?
Average. I say average is my gut answer.
What is that? Define that.
What is
So an average size house might be between 2,000 and 3,000 feet for a custom home that I build.
okay?
Yeah, I think the stress level on an average house is the main factor. Sometimes on a long house, you can get tired of going to the same place every day for a long period of time. Now, you might make more money on a bigger, more expensive house.
Yeah.
As a cost plus type builder that I am now, and that's appealing. Okay, well, this could be a good job for money, but you might just get tired of going there.
Gotcha.
I don't know. Or it might have added complications that a normal house might not have.
So like these 3 bed, 2 baths, or 2.5 baths. That's sort of that's an average home.
You feel like
right?
you got something done, you knocked it out, you go on to the next job.
Gotcha. Turns over.
probably-
How quick does that turn over, you think?
Less than 6 months.
Okay.
Months. Not monks.
Months?
Months.
Months.
Those are different things. Yeah, like 5 months, 6 months.
Yeah.
Months. Wow, I'm really hung up on the monk thing now.
Yeah. All right. Next one from Gabriel Estrada, 4803. How did your dad get started with building? This ties back into one of the older episodes here, but how did he get started with building? Was it his dad, or was it a friend, or just like he just got into it?
Shoot, I don't even know. He went to school for architecture at in Virginia Tech.
Okay.
So he became an architect, and then he worked as a raft guide at the Nana Hill Outdoor Center for a while. So he wasn't using his architecture, but he started building, cabins and things like that. So I don't know if he had a strong influence. My grandpa, his dad was he was in the Army, but then he was an engineer for Reynolds Aluminum.
Okay.
And, he wasn't building houses, I don't think. He may have built his own. He did build his own house, actually, in Chesapeake Bay.
Okay.
Yeah, Virginia. And that's a cool house. I actually have seen pictures of it being built with my dad helping, my grandpa build it. And it was a cool house that I don't know if they designed it or whatnot, but I don't know where he really
Is
got.
it still in the family, that house?
No, but I actually want to go back and revisit it because I have a lot of childhood memories there. In the summer times, we would go and visit Grandma and Grandpa. Yeah. They were on a little, they call it a creek, but it's a little inlet, off the Chesapeake Bay where they had a boat, and you could get in the boat and go out and go fishing. We would use, I think, bloodworms to go fishing for spot fish. I guess that's a kind of fish.
Okay.
You can tell I don't know anything about fish, but yeah, we'd go spot fishing and then go out and, ride the motorboat around. That was pretty fun. But that was a great, great time, at least in my memories as a kid. And I know that we went there some during the 4th of July because I remember doing fireworks and stuff there. And I would like to go back and just look at, all I remember is, I remember a lot of stuff, but they had holly bushes around.
Okay.
Holly bushes.
Yeah.
My voice crackled a little there, but, we were running around barefoot all the time. And this dang sharp holly leaves on the ground everywhere around their house. I'm trying to think of the name of the Mannequin Sabbath. Is that right? Am I saying that right? Is
I have no
a place?
clue.
Brett, you heard of that? Is that right? I hope that's right. That's in that area.
Huh.
Chesapeake. There you go. I don't know where he got his influence to want to be an architect, but I do know that he said that he was going to be an engineer first, or he was interested in engineering and architecture, and then I guess he didn't want to be at a desk all the time inside as much as that would require, and so building I think became his direction because you're outside.
Well, and you don't always get to draw what you want to draw, in those jobs.
Right.
It's like you're told what to draw or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, engineering is a great job. There's a great need for that kind of, occupation. I have a cousin that's an engineer, and he does a lot of drawings for grading and planning for commercial buildings, stuff like that, parking lots and drainage and yeah. So I don't know. I'll have to ask my dad, why did you become a builder, Dad?
Or we'll just have to have him on, and ask him on here.
Yeah.
Something like that. That would be fun.
Yeah, well, better get another microphone.
That's true. Let's see. All right, this is going to jump around. We're going to let's go back to music here a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So,
is this a question on somebody put a question?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, Joseph Duran, 7926 over here on YouTube. I'm a drummer and would love to know what drum kit you play and what is your favorite brand.
Okay. Well, I'm not a snob about drums as far as being loyal to only one brand, because I kind of get whatever comes along at times. But I have a really, really, I would call nice Pearl Masterworks kit.
Okay.
And the wood is Babinga. It's like that game you play where, no, I don't know what. No, it's a really beautiful kit. I got it super cheap though from a friend of mine that was a professional drummer that needed to downsize.
Okay.
In number of kits that he had, and so I would not have normally bought a kit that's that expensive, and I didn't pay a lot for it. So my friend hooked me up.
Perfect.
Carl Powell is his name.
Sweet.
And actually. Many other times in many other ways, he's been a great guy and actually
Carl.
like a mentor to me. Also, my kids, when they started getting into drums a little bit and playing my drum set, I thought, oh, we should get another drum set, right?
Yep.
Because I had the one, and I got them the Questlove Break Beats kit because it's really affordable and it's kind of small. And I still have that kit. It's a great little kit. Actually, sounds amazing for the money. I mean,
Dude, Questlove is a good drummer.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
In addition to that, I just recently picked up a kit that is a compact travel kit.
Okay.
So super small, super slim. It's made by C.R.E.W, which is one of my favorite drum brands because they make good, high quality drum sets. And I forget the name of this thing, but it's like, it's just a super small travel kit.
Okay.
But it sounds amazing for what it is. I wish I could think the name of it, but it's a Pearl. I'm sorry. Pearl makes one. The reason I said Pearl is because I was trying to find a Pearl Rhythm Traveler kit. That's what I was going to get. And I don't think they make them anymore. But they follow the same kind of design, super thin shells, and they're only about 3 inches deep, single heads on the tom, snare, and the kick.
Okay.
So yeah, they're very cool. I could go on about that one. I'm actually, I'm super impressed with it. But anyway, so that's what I got for now.
All right. That answers the drum question, I think. Maybe. All right. So, and this question is from one person, but I've answered this question a lot.
Okay.
I think for the Perkins Builder Brothers.
Oh.
And so this is from, well, I'm going to go with Nallison Road.
You need your glasses back on?
No, it's not that. It's just breaking, it's like looking at a line of letters and breaking them into correct.
All right. Give it a shot. What do you got?
Right. So, direct, Jamie.
Yes.
Do the Perkins Builder Brothers build in Tennessee?
No. We do not have not. And the answer is we don't have a building license outside of North Carolina. So being a contractor is, you would have to be licensed in each state that you want to build in. Now, also, where we live in North Carolina is very close to Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And people think when they may look on a map, they say, well, it's like 15 minutes to Tennessee. But there's a huge mountain between North Carolina and Tennessee, and it takes an hour to get there.
Multiple ones.
So it is, I tell people literally that don't understand this, that we are geographically isolated from some places, the Great Smoky Mountains, what is it? The Blue Ridge Mountains, I guess. And the area of the mountains that are separating us, they're pretty like jagged, steep mountains. I mean, compared to like, if you look around here and you look at the mountains, they look not super steep, but these mountains in between us and Tennessee, they're like, it's like Lord of the Rings kind of stuff. When you look up these giant rock cliffs everywhere, I'm scared to go up there. I went one time there's a hike. You probably been up there, the Chimney
Tops.
Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
Chimney something. When I was in high school, I was in the science club.
Okay.
That's what the cool kids did. No, science is cool, and I was in it because it was fun. But we did some trips. Like we went to the coast, we went to Wilmington, did some estuary studies.
Yeah, sounds cool to me.
We went hiking. We went up to this chimney top thing, which I can't believe we went up there as a high school group because it is dangerous up there.
I mean, it's
isn't it?
I mean, elevation gain on that's like 2,500 feet or something like that. I think.
Well,
on that trail,
when you get to the top,
pretty steep.
You've been to the top?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's hard enough just to get up there.
Mm-hmm.
But then once you are up there, you're like standing on top of a pointy rock in every direction, if you went off of there, is sudden death. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think somebody has died up there before.
I would believe it. And
Yeah.
I do not ever want to go back because I'm scared
Ever?
of that kind of thing.
Wow.
And I've heard too many stories of people getting hurt or
Yeah.
dying like falling off a waterfall.
Well, they did work on that trail
Did
some,
they?
so the
Okay.
trail's supposed to be better. But I haven't been back since they did work.
Okay.
One of those things with those trails is they're pretty popular from the Tennessee side,
Yeah.
so they get pretty crowded.
There's lots of
So,
cars
yeah.
always. There's not enough parking. That's a problem too. You
Right.
probably know about that.
Yep.
There's just not enough parking because there's so many people trying to come and see this stuff.
Some friends of mine got married in the river at the base of
No
Chimney
way.
Tops. They had the ceremony there, and it was just
In the river.
yeah. They had in the middle of the river, basically. This them
I never heard of that.
and the pastor, and then afterwards they hiked up to the top. And I was taking photos. I was
Okay.
a witness and a photographer.
And you were working a wedding scene.
That's right. And then
Stressful.
no, this is like the easiest one ever.
Oh, okay.
I mean, seriously, it's happening in the middle of the river. There was nobody there watching.
What if you didn't
It's
put
just
film in your
them.
camera? How
I was
easy is
just-
it now?
Well, I was using a digital camera. so
Okay. Well,
the
don't forget your SD card or whatever they are. I don't even
so
know.
anyway, but then they hiked up to the top, and she was in a dress. Now it wasn't like some big dress, but she hiked up to the top in a dress.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, and sandals.
So no, we don't build in Tennessee.
You don't. Well, and then, but tie off that because that question comes in a lot about can you build what you build in a pretty small radius
It is
outside
so
of
small.
Bryson City. So it's it's not. It's like 15 miles
Yeah, a 15-mile radius.
of Bryson
Maybe.
City. Right.
I mean, and there's so much work in this small area. I mean, I have never built really outside of that area.
Yeah.
We have been busy and had more to do than we can do in this small area.
Right.
So it would be crazy to take work farther away because of that. And my crew, I we don't travel as a company, as a crew.
Right.
All my people live here in Bryson or really close to Bryson.
So as much as you would love to build homes for everybody that asks.
I
it's
mean, I
just
would,
quite-
it'd be a crazy fun experience, I'm sure, building in different places, but I'm not allowed to.
All right. Well, I'm going to tie into Daniel Ave 2471.
Okay.
How do your homeowners get in contact with you? Do you already know them in most cases, or do you try to get jobs that just make good content? Like, where is it at sort of today?
I would say 50-50.
Okay.
I think half of what we build are people that know us, that live here, that are friends or family friends or a friend of a friend. And we do, of course, try to help people that are local and build for people that live here. But we also do, build a lot of homes for people that are from out of town that want to have a vacation home here or a second home that they want to retire in eventually.
Mm-hmm.
That is a thing that happens here a lot. Somebody says, I want to build a home. I want a vacation in it. And then eventually I want to retire and I want to live here.
Okay.
We've built a lot of houses like that. So yeah.
That's
we do consider content though. I'm sorry, I forgot the second part of your question.
Oh yeah.
We make YouTube videos about building houses, so we try to pick ones that'll be exciting to watch for somebody to watch. And so we just try to not do the same type of build 2 times in a row, right? If we just, like right now we're doing this big modern house, right? If we got done with that and we said, okay, YouTube family watching or audience, we're going to do the same house again, right? Thanks for going along with us on this year-long journey. It's been amazing. Now we're going to start over and do the exact same thing again. I think that wouldn't fly too good. So yeah, we actually are aware that, we need to pick a different style or a different, luckily, the experience of building the house is a lot of, the Builder Brothers show. And so every experience will be different, even though the building process is repetitive. We're going to dig footings and build a foundation, frame some walls, and so on. Try to make it. It is sometimes difficult to, how do you keep it exciting and new and fresh and entertaining?
Right.
Even though you're doing kind of the same things over and over, but it's about the experience. And usually they're in a different location, and we try to show the view and, the location.
Yeah. That's all right. That's cool.
Yeah.
This question's from Build NWA.
Okay. Sounds official.
It does. I think you've mentioned how you don't work on Fridays before. All right.
Mhm.
How do you structure your work week? And do you pay your guys hourly or salary?
Okay. Fair enough.
If you can share that,
I mean, sure. I don't think it's any secret or anything like that. All right, yeah, we work Monday through Thursday on the job sites, and there was a time when the idea of taking Fridays off became a discussion topic between me and my brother. You know, I mean, anybody that works 5 days a week knows it's hard to, get to the store to buy something you need, or to get your car insurance paid, or to go to the bank, or to do anything
on the weekend
that requires you to go to a place that's only open 9 to 5, right? And so, and Eric was editing a lot of videos and wanting some dedicated time to edit videos. So a block of time in the middle of Friday is great. And, we have some rental properties that we own in Bryson City, Bryson City farmhouses, and we need time to do. I do maintenance. I mow the yard. I'm like the maintenance guy, right? That's kind of my jam, right?
Right.
Making sure the houses look good and make sure the grass is mowed. So I needed some dedicated time to do that because I was doing that on the weekends. And the weekends I wanted to be my family time, as much as possible. And those are the factors that were driving us to maybe have Fridays off. And as far as the rest of our crew, with YouTube, they do get paid, some for being on YouTube, and that can help offset or compensate for missing a day of work because they don't get paid to be on a job site on a day that they're not there. So and they do work hourly, my employees, right? It's just too complicated to set a salary because the weather is such a huge factor, and other factors of job site stuff. Well, I don't know of any carpenters that work on salary. I don't know. Maybe there are. Shoot, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the way you work with cost plus building, though, that makes it's easier to work in it that way too, I think, right?
Yeah.
By doing it hourly.
I think so. I feel like I'm a little short on having great answers for this one, but because I don't know how other people do business in this way. I probably should, but honestly, we've just had our heads down and been working in a little bit of an isolated way that I haven't surveyed what other people do.
Okay.
I
don't. Yeah. You may not have to.
So, Friday is a work day, but it's not an on-site work day. Gotcha. So there's a lot. I mean, it's Friday right now.
It is.
We're filming and recording our podcast on Friday. So it's a different kind of work.
Sure. All right.
Yeah.
All right. This one is from H2OS17. That one's easy. It makes, there's no name there. It says, hi from Kansas City. Love the show and excited about the podcast. Wife and I vacationed to Bryson City last year after watching your videos. We fell in love with the area, and they decided to visit again in May, which is next month. It's coming up.
Oh, yeah.
What are your must-do, see, or eat spots while you're here in Bryson City?
Wow.
Yeah. Let's have it.
Dang, I don't know.
I know.
You could probably answer this one better than me.
Well, they asked you. They didn't ask me.
Well, I definitely go to BCO to hang out.
He's not sponsored by, I guess.
And go shopping and get some good coffee well, yeah, that's the headquarters of our Perkins Builder Brothers merchandise, which of course Ben is designing everything that we have. So
I feel like that's probably already on their list. Seeming as they're a fan, they probably know.
Well, I hope so.
Give it. What is something they may not wear?
I give shameless plugs. Okay, listen. Okay.
We don't have our food scene is not vast.
I know. I hate it when people ask me, "Oh, what's some really good restaurants?" I'm like, I don't know.
I hope you like Tex-Mex, right?
I don't know. I mean, I do.
Yeah,
I do. There's a great selection of Mexican restaurants.
Do you like?
And I like them all.
You like them all?
I do.
I mean,
there's not one I don't like.
Okay. All right. No, not picking any favorites, folks. So that's good.
My wife gets tired of some of them, but I just, my personality maybe is that I don't get tired of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like eating the same thing over and over.
I mean, you used to eat Taco Bell a ton, so.
And I would if it was closer too. We don't have one here. All right. We're not answering the question at all. What's good to do in this area?
Yeah. I mean, if you were to go on a hike, where would you take your family?
I mean, we go to Deep Creek
a lot
because it's convenient. It's pretty cool. Pretty good water. There's some waterfalls you can look at. It's good
easy access waterfalls.
It's family friendly. That's not difficult. You're not gonna hike up something super steep and feel like your life is in danger.
Do you ever do you go out the road to nowhere?
I do some because I live close to that, and that's kind of a what is it? An attraction It's a great place to drive if you're into driving like sports cars or something.
It's like 7 miles long.
Super curvy, really scenic, kind of a little destination at the end. And in the end, if nobody knows what this is, if anybody's, what did you call it?
The road to nowhere.
The road to nowhere. Okay.
Yeah.
And it kind of is that. It goes to a dead end into the national park.
It does.
And there's a giant tunnel through a mountain.
It's actually the longest tunnel in the park.
I didn't know that.
It's almost a quarter mile long.
And you cannot drive through it. Just in case you're
You can just
wondering,
walk through
anybody
it.
listening. You can walk through it. Now, they do allow horses.
Right.
There's like horse riding areas out there, and there's all kinds of trails in the park. So bring a flashlight if you walk through the tunnel.
No, can't use the flashlight.
No. I mean, it's cool. I've walked through it, I don't know how many times, and with my kids.
Or are
and
you
stuff.
just worried about the horse poop?
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. That's what I meant. Either wear some big boots or bring a flashlight.
Buck boots or flashlight.
Yeah. It's a cool spot.
It's a neat little.
yeah.
It's a neat little
There's-
destination.
Yeah. Have you ever? There's a hike there that loops into the Gold Mine Loop Trail. Have you
Nope.
done that?
No.
It's great. It's a good.
Sounds fun,
from
though.
from the parking lot, if you just turn around and go, it sort of starts right there, and you can go down by the lake. You can walk out like this time of year. You can walk out in the lake bed because the lake's drawn down. And then go on around, and there's a couple old home sites that are down there that you can see. Do you know how you can tell like old home sites?
No.
When you're walking,
I don't know anything like that.
Really?
Not the history. So there's people that maybe like you that know all this.
I'm just saying, like when you're hiking, sometimes you see you look over there and you're like, oh, those are like dandelions and not dandelions, but daffodils and boxwoods.
Okay.
Like over there in the woods, and you're like, that's not normal.
Right.
That's usually a telltale sign that was a house site.
Used to be somebody's yard, huh?
Yeah. So
and the house is gone, obviously. There's no.
So along that trail, there's like 2 different spots, 2 or 3 that you can walk over, into there, and you can see the foundation layout.
Okay.
And see the steps. There's still an old chimney standing in one of the spots.
Wow.
If it's still up, but
giveaway.
yeah, but it's a cool. You should take It's got a little steep climb out before you come back out through the tunnel.
Okay.
But I always recommend people to go do that one, and it's got less foot traffic than Deep Creek, so you don't see as many
hidden gem.
you don't run into as many other hikers.
Okay.
So
I've got to mention the lake is a big deal here. People love to come to the lake.
Yeah,
Fontana Lake.
I don't feel like as many people use the lake as much as they should. I mean, I'm sort of glad they don't, because us locals get to use it more, and but as far, I don't think it's a crowded like lake when it comes to like
I don't think
compared
so
to like Lake Norman or something like that.
I don't think so. I don't know why. I mean, we do go to the lake in the summertime. Some, me and my family. Fontana Dam. If you're into stuff like. To me, structures, not everybody wants to go look at a giant concrete dam, but it's actually really cool. Fontana Dam is a pretty major thing.
It's the highest dam
east of the Mississippi. Second highest in the nation.
Okay, and I think it's 480 something feet.
Will you repeat what Brett just said in case everybody didn't hear it?
Say it again.
Second highest in the nation.
Second highest in the nation.
The Hoover Dam.
But the Hoover's taller.
Highest east of the Mississippi.
And the highest dam east of the Mississippi. So it's pretty significant.
Yeah.
I knew it was the largest, is the gem, as they would say, of the TVA, or the jewel of the TVA, the Tennessee Valley Authority. Did I say it right?
Yep.
Tennessee Valley Authority. The dam is a marvel of engineering and construction, by the way. That's why I'm fascinated with it.
For sure.
And I got to you can get a tour of the dam.
Yeah, and at the time it was built, in the 1943.
Unbelievable. So, I can get totally fascinated and wrapped up in that. I want to know everything about it. So if you have any interest in something like that, that could be a really cool sight to see. You can go in and see the giant generators, I think. Can you go see that?
I don't know if everybody can get access to that.
I think they have limited what it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be like, when I was a kid, they would take you in there any day of the week, but they have restricted more now. And there used to be this awesome train car thing that went up the mountain. You know what I'm talking about? From the bottom of the dam to where the water comes out to the very top, where there is a visitor center. So anybody can show up, and there's a little visitor center. But that's not as cool as getting to walk inside the dam.
Yeah.
And I think you might be able to schedule a tour where you get to see more. I'm not really sure how that works nowadays.
I know. I'm jealous that you got that.
I'm sorry. Gonna go to hookups. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's about 45-minute drive from town.
Yeah, and curvy roads. If you're into driving 2-lane curvy roads and you think that's fun, great. If you get car sick, don't go, because you'll be throwing up everywhere.
Yeah, And that's a good. But spending time in downtown Bryson, there's lots of little shops to walk around.
Yeah.
There's some good dining options just right in downtown that you can walk to.
I would say whitewater rafting and kayaking is an attraction for our area, the Nantahala River, maybe other rivers.
I don't know if that started in May though. I don't know if
be
they
a little
started.
cold.
Yeah, it's cold all the time. But
if you don't know, the water in the Nantahala River is super cold, and it comes out of the bottom of a lake somewhere up the hill.
Lake Nantahala.
Is that right? Well, that makes sense.
Yep.
And it's super cold.
That's right.
Freezing.
It is very cold.
There's ice cubes in the river.
I think it's in the
No,
40s.
there's
Is it
not,
in the
but
40s?
I don't know. It's
Water
colder
temp?
than I
50s?
like.
Maybe it's 40s. It feels like the 40s.
If you put your head underwater, you will get a brain freeze.
Yeah. It's cold. It is cold.
But if you like kayaking, that's great. There's mountain biking trails. Solly mountain biking trails. They're pretty famous, I think, for being 48 to 55 degrees is the temperature of the water. I call that cold. That's colder than tap water, ain't it?
It is. Well, I guess it depends on
maybe
where.
it's about the same.
Depends on how far. If you're using well water, I think it depends.
I guess it would be the same. Underground water.
Yeah. Right.
That's about all I can think of. I don't know.
Yeah. There's a lot more. There's a lot more to do. Come by the store and find Brett or I or any of our staff knows all the spots.
To tell you some fun places to go.
They can fill you in for sure.
Find out what you're into and then give you some recommendations.
Yeah. Yep. If you run out of things to do, come find us.
Oh yeah.
There's not a ton of rainy day things to do necessarily. So bring a raincoat. You still have to do outdoor things in the rain. So
no, there's no big indoor stuff to do. No water parks or putt or
indoor go-karts.
No, that's more like over in Tennessee.
That's Cross Mountain.
Yeah,
that's true. Well, that's a lot of the questions that I had for today, and I think we're getting towards the end of this episode.
I think so. My caffeine is running out here. I see the bottom of my cup.
We don't want you to start clearing your throat. You've done better.
Well, it's getting a little better. I'm having to use this special spray here. This is what singers use sometimes here. Vocal Ease. Never heard of it, but it actually has got honey, echinacea, and ginger.
Oh, good.
It's helping my voice a little. So
you can't overdose on that.
I hope not, because I've been using a lot of it. Anyway, well, that's been fun. It's been fun. We hit a lot of stuff today, and there's a lot more to hit coming up next week.
Yeah, there is. And so again, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for the comments, the feedback. We're actively looking through and reading and engaging, trying to, learn more as we do this. And,
we are,
trying to make it better as we go. It's going to take time,
There's always something to learn. I know that a lot of people I talk to say, if you're not learning, something bad. So keep learning.
Man, I love that saying. That's great.
That's not the saying. I was like, well, anyway. So, and I was noticing too that I asked a lot of questions to people that I like for example, Fontana Dam. Dude, if I had somebody that had all the answers, I could ask questions unendingly, really. Yep. And the next question would lead to another question, to another. It would just go on and on. I'm just too curious. And I want to encourage other people to be curious. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, just ask. And thanks for being with us.